Alright guys, welcome to this page of the notes. What we're going to do here is work on the second of our objectives or learning targets, which is going to be solving absolute value inequalities. Now, you should at this point be very comfortable solving and or inequalities, and that is going to show up here as well. When it comes to solving absolute value inequalities, which we'll take a look at here in this table, it turns out that solving an absolute value inequality is going to be either an and or an or inequality. And that's what this table shows us, how to determine which is which. So let's go ahead and take a look here at these absolute value inequalities. And what's going to happen is if you have a strictly greater than or equal to, so this is going to be greater than or equal to, okay, then it's going to be an or inequality. Let me go ahead and highlight that for you. You're going to be or, right? So if it's greater than or equal to, it's going to be an or. You'll be setting up an or inequality. If the absolute value is less than or equal to, could be less than or equal to as well, less than or equal to, you're going to have an and inequality. You'll be setting up, actually they didn't write it, let me write it for you, and inequality is what you're going to be solving, and you should recognize it because it's written with both inequalities put together, right? You can only do that for an and inequality. For the or inequalities, there'll be separate inequalities that you'll have to solve separately. This one, we can solve all at once. Real nice. So let's go ahead and just jump into this. I think when you see an example problem, you'll be all set. So here we go. We take a look at this very first one. And the first thing we need to do is make sure when we were solving absolute value equations, you had to have the absolute value all by itself, right? On one side, in this case, of the inequality. And it is, right? That absolute value is all by itself. I don't have anybody I need to move. The second thing I need to now look for is this a greater than or equal to, a less than or equal to, greater than or less than? Of course, this one is less than or equal to, and we remember from the chart, this one's going to be an and inequality. So we go ahead and follow the format they've given us for writing that inequality. It is very simple. You will drop the absolute value signs to z minus 6. You will keep the part that was already there. That is less than or equal to 8. On the other side, this is what's going to be added. You will have it be greater than or equal to a negative 8. That's where the negative c comes in. A negative 8. And now I can solve my and inequality, and we can do it all at the same time. So here we go. Since it's a negative 6, let me slide this up a little bit so you guys can see. It's a negative 6. I'll need to add 6 to both sides. A negative 8 plus 6 is going to leave me with a minus 2. Minus 2. Less than or equal to 2z. Alright, and then I'm going to have a positive 8, which I'm going to add 6 to. That should give me a positive 14. Now, to get this z all by itself, I'll need to divide everybody by 2. Here we go. A negative 2 divided by 2 should leave me with a negative 1. And then 14 divided by 2 should leave me with a 7. Okay, now remember these ones. There is my inequality. These ones we can write in set builder notation, so let's do it. Set builder notation is going to be the brackets. It's all values of z such that negative 1 is less than or equal to z, which is less than or equal to 7. Close your brackets. And let's go ahead. Third one. Let's put it on a number line. Okay, I got to go from a negative 1 to a positive 7. That's not that far. Here we go. Let's see here. We're going to have negative 2, negative 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and graph this guy. I'll do it in red. I need everything greater than or equal to a -1. That's going to be a closed circle on -1. Make sure you fill it in. I need everything less than or equal to a +7. That is going to be a closed circle on 7. Make sure you bubble that circle in and then shade everything in between them. It is an and inequality. It will be everybody shaded in between. That takes care of all the problems on this page of the notes. Head on over to the next page of the notes where we will solve some more of these absolute value inequalities by figuring out, is it or is it and? I'll see you over there.